Welcome everyone to the Proven Knowledge Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Church. I'm a music producer from Northeast Ohio. I began this weekly interview series to give you different perspectives on how to approach a career in the field from different artists, producers, engineers, and other great minds who share their stories on not only what's made them succeed, but also what has shaped them into the people that they are today. I hope you gain some real proven knowledge from the show, and that it helps elevate you in your endeavors on your own journey towards success as well. Let's get into it. Welcome everyone to episode 145 here on the Proven Knowledge Podcast. Today I welcomed an artist out of the UK. His name is Leon D.C. I actually discovered Leon through his single called Hero, probably in the fall or the late summer of last year. We've been in touch. We talked about doing this podcast for a while, so I was finally, happy that we could make that happen this week. Leon discussed his newest single, Bounce Back, that he dropped in January. The story behind that, all the visuals that he's going to have coming out this year, throughout the year. He talked about, learning to video edit, learning how to record himself, his songwriting process, his influences, all that good stuff. And overall, I just love Leon's style, his character, his drive to just continue to keep his passions in mind in his whole life. Talking about doing volleyball and how important that is to him, trying to balance that with music and just the elevation of where he's looking to take it. So I enjoyed this one, and I hope you guys do as well. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, welcome everyone to episode 145 here on the Proven Knowledge Podcast. This is the Creators Series. Today we have another great guest. Our first overseas guest that we've had in a while. I've been connected with this guy probably for the last 7 or 8 months now. His song Hero still in rotation for me. He's got a new single called Bounce Back out now. Everyone, please welcome Leon D.C. to the show. How are you, man?
I'm all good, man. Thank you for having me, literally.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure. It is a pleasure.
Yeah, no problem, man. And I know like I said, we've been in touch for a while and everything, and we've been talking about doing this for a minute as well. So to start off every episode, we kind of have the guest give some background. How long have you been doing music? How'd you get into it? Pretty much basic information for those that don't know you and what you do.
To be honest, I've been doing music, I'd say seriously from about 2020. But I've always been in the musical background before then. Before then, I was doing musical theatre. I was studying musical theatre at university. And then, I've always just been around people that are eager to do with, in the industry, whether it would be, be performing arts-wise, if it would be, DJing or whatever. So I've always been around that sort of, circle. And, it's just basically just been that circle of sport, really. So, probably about, pretty much all my life, I'm not gonna lie. I've been doing a lot.
That's awesome, man. It's kind of cool.
Only since I start taking it more seriously.
I was gonna say it's kind of cool to see that too. That you've had it in your life forever, and then the last few years, especially, you've kind of just focused on being an artist and putting out your own music as well. And I remember when I first heard you, I was like, man, this guy's voice is just infectious. Your production choices, your voice, everything you got going so far, I'm just so impressed with, man. So it caught my attention immediately, and I definitely would love to know, who were some of your inspirations coming up, as far as when you were growing up, or even now today, who are you still listening to that kind of just gets you going as a listener?
You know what? Labyrinth is one of those artists for me, which I kind of just think he's phenomenal. I don't think there's a song that he's put out where I just don't I sonically don't like. There's ones that obviously I won't really replay as much, but I still appreciate the sound and what he tries to do with each song, and how he tries to keep the listener listening, really. It's just phenomenal at what he does. Production wise, singing wise. Just being able to make sure the beat and the production fits around his voice, so it's they complement each other so well, and that's kind of the sound that I'm to build for myself, which I'm slowly trying to piece together here and there and find to work.
I know he's gotten bigger and bigger, especially the last 2 or 3 years, and done a lot of music for TV shows and stuff. I know that he did most of the work for Euphoria, which is a big show. And that's kind of how a lot of people started knowing about him through that and everything. And I've seen he's got commercials now. He's doing I think he's doing a bigger project here coming up. It might already be out. I don't know, but it's going to be pretty cool to hear that. And you're right, he kind of does it all too. Just his product, like I think he does videos too on YouTube of like his production process and like the layers and like the levels that he goes to make what he does is incredible. So he's definitely going to be someone that I feel like in like 10, 15 years, he's going to be one of the biggest in the whole world. Like he's already pretty big, but like he's going to be having worked with a ton of people, and he's just such a talented individual. So that's definitely, I haven't heard someone shout him out yet on this show, but definitely love his stuff. And my brother's a huge fan of his. He's always like, dude, you hear like this Labyrinth track, bro? Like this shit's crazy. So definitely, man, that's a great one right there. And for you, as far as, you know, currently like your songwriting, your recording process, how has that been going for you recently? Let's just say since the beginning of the year, or like the end of last year. Are you recording a lot of music, or you're just kind of writing and just waiting and seeing like what you want to make into full songs, or how's that been?
I've been recording quite a lot recently. This week is a bit of a no-no because I'm just recovering from actually having a cold. Like I literally shot a music video, and it's just kind of thrown me out of the account because I was literally just wearing a hoodie and nothing. Yeah, it was bad. But yeah, recording wise, I've literally been because I have access to like a home studio, thankfully. Like anytime an idea pops into my head, the first thing I have to do is to literally just go to the microphone and just like solidify the idea. And that's what I pretty much try to do like every day, just to trying to keep my mind fresh and see if anything else pops up.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when it comes to recording for me, I'm very impulsive. So I will start off with an idea and then have like maybe like a verse or chorus done for the song, and then like I'll leave it for like a good couple of months and then come back to it. And it's like, that's what was missing. And that's kind of just like a domino effect for like so many of my songs. That like if you see my laptop and how messy it is, you just like, how do you work in this?
It's kind of like you got to wait on those like bits of inspiration sometimes too, and the process kind of takes longer for certain songs than it does for others, I think, because I've even had like when I'm making beats and stuff, I'll make something and it all's coming to me right away. Other stuff, it's like I might just lay down a simple idea and then come back to it later, and then I'll know what to do. Like I might not have known what to do in that moment. So it's kind of, I think for you, it sounds like it's kind of the same thing, and that's a luxury, honestly, to be able to know how to record yourself, because a lot of artists, they don't either know or they just don't want to learn for whatever reason. But I think it's like the ease of access now is so much like better than artists think. I think they still have to, they believe they have to pay for studio time all the time, and they always have to be in like professional environments and things like that. It's like, if you want to just lay down ideas too, why not just buy a USB mic and an interface, plug it into your laptop, and just record stuff? You know what I mean? So I think that's great that you're doing that and just kind of getting everything out there and just making it, you know, whatever it is. And the world might not even hear all those songs, you know what I mean? But you're just practicing and you're just kind of getting the hang of it and continuing to make great material over time. So that's awesome, man.
I've kind of got into a habit of just making music for myself as well. Like just for the love of actually just enjoying what I do, really. Like,
yeah.
I like to push myself lyrically. And I feel like when every song I make, I kind of I always compare it back to the first couple of songs that I made to start with, just to show myself the progression that I've made as an artist, and like just I don't know, just kind of to be proud of myself, really, because like I kind of got lost in the sauce, like maybe like last year, where I was kind of just like almost going like a robotic sort of monotone, sort of like just non-stop sort of thing. Where it's like now I'm in a space where I'm actually just enjoying what I do for the sake of it, just enjoying the process.
Yeah, I think that's important too. You kind of have to be in that state of never losing kind of the innocence of creation, because you will kind of get lost in the whole, you know, you're trying to make whatever you're trying to do as a career. You're trying to do all this stuff and get eyes on you and everything, but it's like you can create and just do it. Like you don't have to be like famous to create, you know what I mean? Or you don't have to be, you don't have to have monetized all your stuff to just create and enjoy things. So I think that's something that a lot of people kind of eventually run into the roadblock of, where they're so focused on taking that next step and they gotta get better and all this stuff, but you can definitely just lose yourself in that. And I think it's great to keep that joy in the whole process and really just remember like why you did it. It kind of like takes you back to your roots, you know what I mean? Before you had all the stuff, before you even knew like how to even monetize or create a career, you were just like, I enjoy making music, so I'm just gonna start and see what happens. So yeah, that's definitely great to have that. Would you say then that music works for you as a form of like therapy or a form of like meditation almost, where it's just like you're just in that flow state and you're just doing it?
100%, like literally, like it's a massive passion of mine, and like I only realized how much it was a passion of mine like until I actually just started to make it when I made the decision to just like actually go all in almost and literally to just go for it, because I knew I'd enjoy it. I don't feel like there's ever going to be a time where like I'm gonna burn out because of it. I always know how to like take my like not go too far and just like burn myself out, and obviously just collaborate with artists here and there, and obviously to just learn from them, have fun. They should meet new people through music, and I've met you through music, and it's been like phenomenal. Like literally,
yeah.
There's so many people that I've met. It's just a blessing, man.
Definitely 100%, man. And that's super awesome. And like I said, you just never lose the joy, you know what I mean? You got to always have that in there and always got to just continue to remember, why you did it in the first place. So I definitely have to remind myself of that from time to time as well, because there's just so much going on. But I know that you as well play sports. You're a volleyball player. So how does that differ from, what you do in music? Which one, like, does one kind of get more focused than the other, or are you kind of just like they're both very important to you and you just enjoy doing them?
I enjoy doing both just as well, and they both complement each other in different ways as well. Like when it comes to if I've had enough of volleyball for a couple of days and like I'm not really having the greatest training session or whatever, it's always nice to just listen, put on a few instrumentals and stuff, and to just like see what comes to mind, and then vice versa. Really,
yeah.
But mainly, it's kind of like music is kind of like a relaxation for me when it comes to like playing sport. I'm training like 3-4 times a week. Same with the gym, and I've got like 2 games every week because I'm studying it. I'm studying at uni as well, doing a part-time masters. So like I'm always busy, and like volleyball is another thing that's been part of my life for a very long time. I've been playing for about I think it's 12, 13 years now. At international, national level as well. So I'm always tired.
Yeah, I was about to say, man, because you gotta have like a schedule too. You know what I mean, and keep like the set schedule for yourself and figure out like you were talking about earlier with the music, finding your limits. You know what I mean? Because I think everybody has like the limits, and you gotta. I think life for everyone is just trying to balance everything we got going on, because we got all these different things, and we don't want to let any of them slip away or like fall downhill. So it's like just trying to find those personal boundaries and things like that, and just where you can kind of like improve, and then obviously just keep everyone else happy too, because there's other people in your life. You got family, you got all these other people. So it's just like finding that, and I think for you, I guess that's kind of worked out pretty well. Even though it is probably pretty hectic sometimes, week in and week out, trying to figure it out. But that's definitely awesome. And I knew that was important to you, because I had seen you post a lot of like clips, stories, things like that about it. It's even in your bio as well. So I knew that was definitely something that, you held close for sure. So recently, back on the music tip, you just released Bounce Back not too long ago. That's like the recently released song. So give us the story behind that one, since it's like the freshest one. Like what went into making that song? What's the story behind it? Give us some background on that.
So Bounce Back was actually recorded quite a while back, believe it or not. I've been holding on to it because I wanted to save it for an EP that I wanted to release at the beginning of the year. And because of like things that kind of happen around it, whether it be like university and work and stuff, the EP is not finished yet, shall we say. But Danny Danny Riguez is just amazing, and he was kind of on to me to just like put the song out, and I really wanted to put the song out as well because I was really excited for it. So I was like, let's just put it out. It's a good way to start the year, to be fair. Mm-hmm. I really love the song. And he literally, when I messaged him to like ask him to be on the song, he literally like gave me the verse within like a week. And then I heard it the first time and I was literally just like, I need to put this out. I can't just be holding on to this banger like for as long as I did. To be fair, it was kind of criminal.
Yeah.
But yeah, to start the year, I think it's a really good way. Like, it's a good song to start the year with.
Yeah, for sure.
I just wish like at some music video for it as well. If I can go to the States, it'll be cool to go to the States. Actually, I've never actually been. Or if you was to come to the UK.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
Yeah, the song is literally about. Basically, it's just about like scenarios of you being like in a relationship, and like sometimes you kind of like you put in a lot of effort into it, and you're not really getting much back, but you kind of still feel empathy for that person,
mm-hmm.
and like you kind of like sometimes you feel like you're beating a dead horse, and then like that's kind of just like it was just a play on words with that, really.
Yeah. Just wanted to take a quick minute out of this episode to let you know about our current sponsor, SessionWire. If you've ever used Zoom before, then you'll be right at home with SessionWire. They allow you to connect face-to-face with anyone, anywhere by sending them a single link to your very own personal SessionWire Studio. SessionWire Studio is a virtual control room that combines many familiar tools like video, voice, file transfer, chat, and storage. And it also allows an industry-first separate HQ audio channel for listening to and recording with studio quality sound. And I'm very excited to, be on board with SessionWire and have them, sponsor the podcast for the next few months. It will also be giving away 3 versions of their brand new V3 software in April, which I'm very excited about as well. So be on the lookout for that. But if you want to, know more about SessionWire now and you want to get started today, go to sessionwire.com. And with their VIP early bird pre-launch offer, you'll be able to get SessionWire's artist plan for only $99, plus a free year of the all-new SessionWire Studio when it officially launches if you use the pre-purchase code Proven Knowledge 22. That's Proven Knowledge 22. Once again, very excited to have SessionWire on board, and stay tuned for the giveaway. But for now, let's get back into the episode. I thought it was a great way to kick off the year as well, because I think it was one of the, as far as like the people that I know, especially independent artists, that was like one of the first things that dropped last month. So I was definitely excited to see you release that, and that's definitely awesome, man. And it's great to see that, like you said, you kind of had it for a while, and then Danny kind of put a verse on it, and it just kind of gave it new life for you. You know what I mean? You were just like, I gotta let it go. So it's crazy how sometimes that can happen too, and it takes like another person to kind of like give it something or like add something to it, and then it gives it like a whole new meaning almost, or a whole new like life to it, where you're just like, it's undeniable now. You know what I mean? So that's definitely great to hear, and I'm definitely looking forward to, whenever the project is done. We're gonna get into that. But I know you have a video that's coming out actually tomorrow. So by the time this episode's out, the video will have been like released for a while. So do you want to tell us about that as well?
So the video is called "The World Can Be Yours." I can't wait for you to hear this. Literally, this is another song that I kind of like recorded that roughly about the same time as Bounce Back as well. But I was holding on to them for obviously the EP, but I'm thinking of just like dropping them as singles now. Mm-hmm. The video is just like, it's the first time I've actually gone into so much detail with the color scheme of the video, and like how it fits with the brand overall, which is kind of what I'm still developing on. The song is just a very laid back, chill song that's kind of like still inspirational, and that's kind of like that's what the song's kind of supposed to bring. I'm supposed to kind of like give the listener, really. But yeah, that was also one of the songs that I kind of recorded, and it literally just came out of me in like 30 minutes, literally. Like, there's some songs which will literally take me about a good solid 2 weeks to write, and then there's a song like that will literally just flow out of me like that. It was the same with that one. It was the same with Dreams. Yeah. So I know this one's going to do really well because
Mm-hmm.
it's actually coming from a very genuine place. And well, all of my songs are genuine, but I feel like this one, like when it's that easy and there's no second guessing the lyric, you kind of happens. You kind of know I feel like I've done something good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
man.
yeah, I'm excited for people to.
Yeah, definitely, and it's awesome because, like I said, it's tomorrow. So by the time we're recording this, this will be out. So I'll be able to check it out, and then everyone, when this episode drops, make sure to go check that out as well. Definitely looking forward to hearing it and seeing what you did, man. What has that been like, kind of doing visuals for your songs? I know, like, the music video process can probably be like pretty crazy as well. Just having to storyboard and kind of talk with the director and figure out like visually how you're going to bring this to life. What has that been like to do that for, some of these releases?
It's been a massive learning curve, and I feel like it's needed for me, especially for as an independent artist as well. Like you kind of need to be knowledgeable in all of the areas, just
Mm-hmm.
so you kind of know what you're stepping into. If you're looking to take your career like further and take it global,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like me doing it like myself, like it's also one of the things I'm passionate about as well, without even me realizing. Like when I actually started doing filming and videography as well, I've started to like it's slowly becoming another passion of mine, which I'm looking to delve into more detail, and hopefully this year as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking to be a lot more consistent with it, just learn about how to do a bit more editing as well on a more advanced level. I do all the edits for my videos as well, so literally got to a point in 2020 where I literally was just like, okay, I'm getting Logic Pro and I'm getting Final Cut, and I haven't looked back since.
Mm.
Like, in comparison to the first videos, like as long as I keep seeing the improvement, it's just gonna keep feeding my hunger for it. Literally.
Yeah. And it's probably great too to kind of oversee the creativity of that come to life as well, so you can kind of make those decisions in real time and just be like, well, this is kind of my vision for this song to begin with. So let me just edit these videos, put them together, and then you end up having the final product that you want as well. So that's probably very incredible, just the feeling of that. And I think that's awesome, man, that you kind of like, you're almost like skill stacking in a way too. And like over time, it just keeps getting like better and better for you. And I think the growth is just going to keep happening. You know what I mean? With each release. And I think you said as well, you kind of wanted to do videos, like a lot of them this year, like maybe once a month or something like that. So like, is that still the goal? Is that going to be something you can reach, you think?
Um, Thinking about how I started the year so far, I feel like it is definitely reachable. But I feel like there's a lot for me to learn still in
Mm-hmm.
order to continuously be at that level of
Yeah.
of the What Can Be Yours.
Yeah.
Because that video is going to be hard to beat, and like I had a lot more time to think about that video, whereas
Mm-hmm.
like giving myself a month in between to do the other songs,
Mm-hmm.
which are pretty much like in my mind already, to like the ideas are like semi solidified in that, but it's much less time. Plus, I've got to do all of the promo behind it, and
Mm-hmm.
then I've kind of given myself a lot of things to do. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna plan out yet, but
Yeah.
I know it's gonna be worth it. I don't know. By the time this year's over as well, I'll be in a completely different space
Mm-hmm.
because of it.
Yeah. It's kind of good too to plan ahead. I think like even having release schedules, they don't always go the way you originally intend them to, because I do that with my content as well. I'll have like a set schedule, and then you end up, things happen or life happens and you're like, well, I kind of got to change that a little bit. But I think even if just having the
Yeah,
like plan of like, I'm going to do this at this time or around this time, it's like it gives you that roadmap to kind of where you're going to, and then you can look back and see that progress of like, okay, we knocked these goals out, now we're going to try for these goals, and just like keep it building and keep that momentum going. So, and that's like how you build consistency too, because I think a lot of people, they kind of don't know how to build consistency. they don't like know where to get started, I guess. But I think that has helped me, and it sounds like it's kind of helped you as well, where you kind of just have these things in mind, and it's just kind of putting them into action then, and figuring out the right timing for them. So definitely good stuff. And like I said, I'm looking forward to everything that you have coming out, man. Is there anything else that we should be on the lookout for in the next like month or so? Let's say that.
I'm hopefully looking to start gigging again from April, May time. A few places in London there's a few like agencies that I'm talking to that like have a few venues in London that I performed at. But I want to get the songs ready for them and like obviously get some time to rehearse. And I'm fortunate enough to have like a good rehearsal space at uni, which I can use like whenever I want, pretty much. Just need to book it.
Yeah.
But I'm also in the process of getting a band and getting people to perform with. I like performing on stage. Like it's another thing that is it's a really big passion of mine. I've done it for quite a while, like whether it be for like musical theatre or whatever. So like I'm no stranger to this stage, but I feel like now is the perfect time for me to just get a band that will be like really willing to just take this further and obviously just believe
it'll be
in the process and like how far we can take it.
Yeah, it'll be great to kind of be able to perform the new material as well. You know what I mean, in front of the live audience, and just see how it is received and everything. And I think with a band, that would be such a different experience because you can kind of hear those songs in a different way too. So definitely gonna be awesome, man.
I'm looking forward to like actually performing them and see what they actually sound like on stage. Because that's another thing as well. You never really know like the reaction of like how your song is gonna be until you actually perform it and see it in people's face.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that kind of took me by surprise when I first my first performance I did as a solo artist was like 2021, and I performed like all of my old songs from like my first EP, and the songs that I really thought would do well, it kind of had the opposite effect completely. Like I was performing these songs, I was like, okay, they're liking it, but they're just vibing. And then you'd hear like a really unexpected song that I'd be singing, and then she was like, yeah, and I'm like, whoa, this was unexpected. It's just different.
Yeah.
You never really know what songs really take off. Like, this is another like thing when it comes to like crowdsourcing my music as well, and just actually that. Because when you have people like different, music is very subjective. So like when you have people have like different tastes, obviously, and people like would like my artistry for different reasons. Whether it would be my flow, whether it would be some of the melodies that I kind of incorporate, or whether it actually be the beats. It's just so many different things to think about, and yeah, it just changes. It keeps me guessing.
Yeah,
keeps me guessing.
It's definitely got to be a lot different than, you know, having people listen to your stuff on like Spotify, where you don't really know what their reaction is because you don't get to see their faces when they're hearing your music for the most part. You know what I mean? If someone across the world is listening to your music, you don't know all the time if they've just become a fan or if they just heard it in passing and then that was it. You know what I mean? So I think like being in person, or at least like getting that face-to-face interaction, is where you can kind of gauge, you can kind of read the room, like the temperature of the room, like you said, where it's like, okay, these songs did pretty well. These songs, I don't know if I'll like at least perform these again, or I don't know like how I'll incorporate these in a different way next time. But yeah, I definitely think that is very powerful as well, to kind of have that as a second like opinion almost. And that's pretty cool. And like I said, man, I think it's going to be great for you to perform all the new stuff and just see how it goes, and get, you know, in front of another audience, you know, new audiences across the UK as well. So that's going to be awesome for you, man, and I'm excited for you. Do you have, actually, we have 3 more questions to go, and these are ones I ask on every episode. The first one is, if you could go back 10 years ago, give yourself a piece of advice, or maybe not change anything at all, what do you think you would do?
Don't hold back. I'd literally just tell myself to just like not hold back at all. Like, there's so many limiting beliefs that I had back then that I kind of like can kind of stopped me from doing what I really wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And like now, I actually spend so much time was wasted just living in doubt, whereas you could have literally just gone and done it.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm at a point where it's just like, I'm just going and I'm having fun with it.
Yeah.
And yeah.
That's awesome, man.
It's just, that's the only thing. Just go 100%. Don't even look back.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's your passion. It's like, I kind of look at it the same thing with volleyball now. Like, when I first started playing volleyball, it wasn't because of like, I didn't think, what if I'm not good enough? I actually just played it because I actually had fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got into the junior national team, and that was literally all just for the love of the sport. And I'm looking to hopefully like have the same sort of success with music. It can take a while, but I don't mind because I know I'm still going to be here having fun with it. Yeah. I'm here.
That kind of leads into the next question, which is 10 years from now, where do you think you envision yourself in your life and your career as well?
I actually don't know, because I actually like, it's definitely going to be within like something to do with music,
mm-hmm.
or maybe potentially something to do with sport, but I want to find a way I can kind of like interlink them both. Like kind of still have my cake and eat it too, if that makes sense. Because I don't want to end up having to give up. I don't really see myself giving up like my like sport in general. Like I'm really like, I've made some cool friends, and I don't feel like it's gonna be hard for me to just stop playing or stop like doing coaching or doing whatever that would have anything to do with sport. And then with music, I'll be doing it forever. So music, it's going to be something music based, artistry, whether it would be production, whether it would be just like songwriting for people, whether it would be like mixing and mastering, videography, whatever it's going to be. I know it's something that I'll actually enjoy doing. It has to be something I enjoy doing. So it has to be that, really.
That's the whole point, man, is just to kind of figure that out. And then, like we said about balance, too, just continuing to, like, it always changes, too, because it feels like every year there's more on our plates, I guess. But it's like just figuring out, how to balance it all and make it work. So definitely good stuff, man, that you got there. And do you have any final words of wisdom today for the listeners?
I'm just going to repeat myself again, aren't I, if I just say it again?
I was going to say, you dropped a lot of wisdom, so you can definitely go back on stuff you've already said.
Stay focused, drink water.
So I'd say drink. See, no one says drink water, so that's a really important one.
Just follow your passion, follow your heart. Naturally.
Yeah, man. Well, man, I think you're doing that, and like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing, where you can take this, man, and all the stuff you got coming out this year, and that's all I have for you today. And like I said, I appreciate you for joining me, because I know we talked about this for a while, but I'm glad we finally made it happen. And obviously, me and you are going to stay in touch, so the door's always open to do this again soon. And man, just congrats on everything you got going.
Thanks a lot, man. Thank you for having me, literally. Like, this has been so refreshing.
Thanks, everyone, for listening today. That was episode 145. We'll be back this time next week. As always, hit the support button on your podcast streaming platform if you'd like to send any funds. And feel free to leave us that 5-star rating if you enjoyed today's episode. So we'll see you then. Thanks, everyone.